So I had this amazing experience when I was visiting South Florida to see my mom and my brother with my mother's caregiver. And I just wanted to share it with you because I think in these incredibly divisive, difficult times in this country, this story is very applicable to show you and me and all of us how people from completely opposite cultures and ideas can come together. So my mom's caregiver is a beautiful, special, wonderful person with a lot of heart and soul, and we're very deeply connected. I really, really adore this woman. And we were all very nervous during my recent trip here in South Florida. I'm actually still here. I'm leaving pretty soon. But before I left the state, I wanted to share this story. I wanted to be in the energy of the story and where it all happened in this apartment, because it was a remarkable, life-changing experience for me, and I think also for her. So Dorian, that hurricane that everybody was so worried about that turned out to be nothing, Dorian was coming down the pike, and it seemed like it was going to be a very scary situation for all of us here in the South Florida area where I'm visiting. And it's amazing how much chaos that caused. And my mom's caregiver, she's a really hard worker. She does so many amazing things for my mom, and she does so many incredible things in this apartment that I just felt like breaking the rules with her one day that, she was here. I wanted her to sort of take the day off. We were all very anxiety riddled with this impending doom of Hurricane Dorian, like a black hole kind of inching closer and closer and closer to the edge of South Florida. So when she came in one day, I said, silly lady, why don't you just relax and take the day off? You can help my mom with some stuff, but you don't have to work as hard as you normally do. Let's just chill today. Maybe we'll have just a relaxed day at home with my mom. And her response is, because she's such a good person and such a hard worker, she said to me, "Oh no, whoa, I need to mop floor, I need to dust, I need to clean a bathroom. I cannot not work. I have to work. So I said, okay, my mom's resting. You can work. It's okay. Do your thing. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to watch this documentary. I think it was on Netflix or Amazon Prime or YouTube. Whitney, Can I Be Me, which I've seen many times. But I just felt like watching it that day. I don't know why, but God was definitely involved in this experience. So Ciliana finishes all of her chores, and it's kind of at the end of her shift, and there's only about a half an hour left. So I wanted to, let her go early. I said, it's fine if you go now. You can take the rest of your shift off and enjoy the rest of your day. And she asked me if she could sit down and watch the documentary with me. So I said, of course you can sit down and watch the documentary with me. That's what I had originally wanted her to do in the first place, just watch movies with me and hang out. So, in that documentary, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's that whole part where they describe and discuss and go into detail the nature of Whitney Houston's relationship with this woman called Robin. And, it's my personal belief that was a very significant relationship in Whitney Houston's life. It seemed like they were very connected and very close. I also believe that Whitney Houston was in love with Bobby Brown, and they had a very intense relationship as well. And I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Bobby Brown in Los Angeles, where I'm from once, and he was an incredibly nice guy. And during this section where they deeply explore the nature of Robin and Whitney's relationship, my mom's caregiver turns to me and she looks incredibly shocked and scared. And she starts to put her head down and close her eyes and say, "Oh no, Whitney no gay. Whitney is not gay. Whitney no gay. Oh no, tell me Whitney no gay. Whitney is not gay." So I had to take a breath there for a second, and I turned to her and I said, well, Ciliana, it's my belief that sexuality and gender is on a spectrum. And, it's very possible that Whitney Houston had a very significant and profound relationship with Robin, and then shortly after that met Bobby Brown, and they also had something very powerful and passionate together in their relationship and ultimately in their marriage and having a child together. And I believe both of those relationships are equally as valid. And she just didn't want to hear any of that. She just kept saying, "Oh no, Whitney is not gay. Whitney no gay. Tell me please, God, Whitney no gay." So of course, me being me, I had to turn to her and say, "Ciliana, I have also had very, very intense relationships with women that I was in love with. I even got one of them pregnant, but that's another story for another video. And I'm also sexually attracted to men, and I've had relationships with men, and I feel that both of those experiences are equally as valid." And I said to her, "Ciliana, I'm gay. So if I'm gay and we're friends, don't you think that maybe there's something that you are missing about gay people and your idea of how gay people are maybe a little bit inaccurate?" And of course, her reaction was, "Wowie, you are not gay. Wowie, no gay. You are not gay. You abomination. You abomination against God. You sin. You sin. You have to stop sinning. You have to stop sinning." So, of course, I had to talk a little bit about what I observed her life to be like, because I believe in the eyes of God, we are all beloved and all accepted for exactly how He made us to be. And I noticed that Ciliana, as sweet and adorable and pretty as she is, she's very overweight and she struggles to come through the door and she can't find a place for her on the couch. And I said to her, "Ciliana, I have never read the Bible, but I do believe that there's something in there about gluttony, and you're not supposed to eat too much, and you're supposed to be in good shape and in like a fit place in your life in the eyes of God, which you are not. And doesn't that make you just as much of a sinner as me? Can't we both be sinners together? Can we both be under this heading of we're abominations?" And I also said to her, "Forgive me if I'm wrong, Ciliana, but I would assume, based on your life experience and what I've observed, that you've been persecuted and you've been spat at and you've been called names and your people have been enslaved since the beginning of time." I had to draw a parallel between those two experiences because I've been spat on. I've been locked in lockers. I've been pissed on. I was locked in a portable toilet on a construction site, ironically here in South Florida, for being gay. So I said to her, "Why can't we connect on these things? Why can't we come together and unite as two totally different people that have experienced almost the identical things? We've both been marginalized. We've both been pushed aside. We've both been made to feel like we're less than. But we're the same. Can't you see that we're the same? And that we should love on each other instead of hate on each other and separate and divide?" And then, of course, that conversation really melted her, and she said, "Oh, Wally, I love you. You gonna fire me? You gonna fire me because I say you abomination? You gonna fire me?" And I said, "No, I would never fire you. I love you. You're amazing with my mom. You're great at all your light housekeeping responsibilities. You're always here when she's here. You're on time. You're family. You're a part of us now. We want you in our lives forever. I never, ever even had the thought for a second that I would want to fire you. As a matter of fact, this makes me feel closer to you. This makes me want to love you more." So then, of course, her beautiful face lit up like a Christmas tree, and the tears started rolling down, and she just threw her arms around me and said, "I love you, Wowie. I love you, Wowie." And I love her too. And that's the way two people, in my experience, came together in a way that I never even thought was possible. And I also had to say to her, "Look, Ciliana, we're friends. I know you love my mom. I know you love me. I'm gay. I'm not contaminated. I'm not a leper. I don't have diseases. I'm not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form." And I definitely saw all of those light bulbs illuminate in her neurological landscape. And I really think, I hope and pray that I caused a change with her, not only for that moment, but for the rest of her life with the LGBTQ community. which I'm incredibly proud to be a part of. So I just wanted to share that story. Ciliana and I are still best of friends. We even got along better after that experience. And of course, she had to glam it up for me the next day. She came in the beautiful blonde wig and all this makeup because, I'm sure she knows that gay men love glamorous women, right? So anyway, I just wanted to share that story. God loves all of us. I love you. God loves you. We're all in this together, and love to you all.